Yeah. So that's the match you want on Decimation? Don't worry, I got you. If that's what you want, if that is your first step into proving exactly why the hell you belong in Death Incorporated, then I'll book it. You have a great rest of your night, Chris. Oh, and tell James to call me in a few minutes. Thank you. You take care, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I, the general manager of RUW, Alexander Kelly, informs to you we're back. Long overdue. RUW Decimation is returning to YouTube this Saturday, and I cannot be more excited because I have a handful of matches in store for you. At the RUW Bray Wyatt Memorial Show, first of all, Chris Danger made the right choice. I've heard all the comments. I've heard all this and all that. Oh, Chris Danger, you sold your soul to the devil himself, Alexander Kelly. Oh, Chris, why the hell could you do such a thing? He did it to prove a point. Chris Danger has been overshadowed and underappreciated for far too long. If I'm being honest with you, Chris had this whole idea of joining Death Incorporated months ago. He, James, and I talked about it forever. Okay? We tried to come up with ideas as to when the hell would be the time to introduce Chris to Death Incorporated. Matter of fact, we actually started talking about it right after RUW Best in the World. Because what a show that was. We had some new champions coming out of that. Because at Best in the World, Death Incorporated, James Taylor and I defeated the Angels from Hell, the Demon, and Ashface. Chris Danger knew. He knew then, with a new set of World Tag Team Champions, that being Death Incorporated, he knew that was the time. Chris Danger wanted to be on top, and he made the right choice. So Chris Danger, props to you for stepping up. If anybody else wants to join, our arms are wide open. Chris Danger, he did make the right choice. And with that right choice, became a brand new champion. Chris Danger walked out of the RUW Bray Wyatt Memorial Show the new RUW Intercontinental Champion. Who doubted? Who doubted for a second Danger couldn't get the job done? I didn't. I knew for a fact Chris Danger could do it. Because Danger said himself he was right about Brandon Collins. Brandon Collins, he's too stuck up on himself. The only thing he cares about is the attention that he gets out of what the hell he does. Chris, he's not in it for the fame. He's not in it for the money. He's in it because he knows what's best for him. All Brandon cares about is attention. All Brandon cares about is if he's going to be able to upload this wrestling match or this entrance or this whatever to his YouTube channel. No one cares. Here's why. Brandon, I've said it once and I'll say it again. You do not have to constantly record everywhere you go, every match you have, every entrance you make. You don't have to record that. Why? Because every wrestling promotion that you go to has cameras. They're all watching you. Okay? And by the way, seems like you have a lot on your plate, Brandon. Not only do you have all of Death Incorporated targeting you, what happened at the recent Pro Wrestling Revolver show? You got blindsided. You got attacked. Brandon, you are a target. And it's about time you start realizing the reason everybody sees you as a target is because of how you act and how you carry yourself. Death Incorporated. Unless you decide to make the right choice, unless you decide that this behavior and the way you keep carrying your career is not what's best for you, unless you decide to change your ways miraculously, Death Incorporated will never accept you. And I bet right now, you're smiling. You're somewhere laughing at this, thinking, oh, I don't want to be part of Death Incorporated anyway. Oh, I'll never change my ways because this is who I am. And that's what's going to kill you, Brandon. You will constantly be a thorn in Chris Danger's side. But here's the thing. Chris Danger has got a hold of that little thorn, and he's slowly pulling that out of his side because he has proven time and time again he doesn't need you. He has gotten on top of you, over you, every single time y'all have faced. Chris Danger, new Pro Wrestling Revolver Remix champion, defeating the Spartan Brandon Collins. Chris Danger, the new RUW Intercontinental Champion, defeating the Spartan Brandon Collins. And while we are on the topic of Chris Danger, Death Incorporated have another target not named Brandon Collins. Matter of fact, Death Incorporated seems to have a lot of bad blood with the Vampire Brothers because they cannot shut the hell up. They constantly want to walk around here and act like they're the next big thing. King Vampire, when was the last time you won a match? When was the last time any of your members won a match? You're nothing. You're yesterday's news. Matter of fact, you were never news at all. Oh, King Vampire, the new United States champion after defeating Jon Moxley back at Season 5 earlier this year. Yeah, that was the only bit of relevancy you ever had. And what happened to that? It got shattered by Aleister Black. But while we are on the topic of Death Incorporated, Chris Danger, and the Vampire Brothers, I have an announcement to make. As you saw earlier, I was just on the phone with Chris Danger. And he has decided that at the return episode this Saturday on YouTube of RUW Decimation, he will put his Intercontinental Championship on the line against you, Lucy. That is right. Chris Danger said that he wanted to make his mark. Okay? As the newest member of Death Incorporated, Chris Danger wanted to prove himself against one of the toughest competitors RUW has ever seen. The Raven, the Prophet, Lucy. I had no second thoughts. I know Chris Danger can get the job done. So, it is official. Chris Danger versus Lucy for the RUW Intercontinental Championship this Saturday. But while we are on the topic of what's going down this Saturday, Brandon, I hope you didn't forget. I'm hoping none of you watching ever forgot. Brandon fucking Collins is in for the fight of his goddamn life this Saturday in the first ever Kelly's Chaos match. There's a stipulation I decided to change. It was originally 2 out of 3 falls. No more. No more. But the rules remain the same. No pinfalls. No countouts. No disqualification. The only ways to win are by submission or knockout only. It will be falls count anywhere. Brandon, I hope you're ready for some chaos. The only way you are leaving that arena is in the back of an ambulance in a body bag. I hope you're ready. Now I hope you have already stated your goodbyes to your family, your friends, and your loved ones. You will not survive Kelly's chaos. Alexander Kelly will walk out of RUW Decimation as your new 2-time RUW 24/7 champion. That win in the tournament was a fluke. You face the real me this Saturday. Brandon, Merry Christmas. Alexander Kelly.